Jesus starts in Matthew 24, David. I think it's very important and interesting that he starts in Matthew 24, verse 3, not by listing all the different signs that will surround his coming and will preclude his coming, but he starts by telling the disciples who had lived with him, walked with him, watched him do the great miracles that the Bible records, and probably many more. As he's talking with them, they ask him, what would be the sign of your return? First thing he says was, take heed that no one deceive you.
That's right.
That's a message for the church today right there.
Well, Eric, even more so than ever before, because as you well know, we have a famine of the Word in the church today. You go to most evangelical churches, and they're getting up on Sunday morning and talking about 5 ways you can improve yourself, 3 ways you can pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, how you can live a positive life, have a positive attitude. They're not preaching the Word of God, and people don't know the Word. And the only way you can protect yourself from deception is to know the Word and to test doctrines by the Word.
Exactly what Paul warned the Thessalonians to do, is to test everything by the Word of God. Hold on to that which is good and avoid every kind of evil. That's what we are called to do. And you're right. I use the word famine quite a bit. There's a famine about good Bible teaching, first of all.
You got that right.
But there's a famine about understanding the days we live in. And if we're watching the signs take place around us that the Scriptures tell us are going to happen before the return of Christ, shouldn't we be the generation that is then able to enumerate that to the world around us? Shouldn't this church, this generation of church people, shouldn't we be the ones that are able to do it? It seems to me that with all these signs happening, why isn't there more of a major emphasis on these things in the church today?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the fact that the pastors are scared to death of Bible prophecy. They really are. They don't want to get involved with it. First of all, they consider it to be a playground for fanatics, and they're right. It is a playground for fanatics, but that does not invalidate those who are teaching it responsibly. They also fear that it's going to cause trouble in their churches, stir up trouble and cause division, and it can if a person comes in with a chip on his shoulder and says, I know it all, and everybody who disagrees with me is wrong. So there are some legitimate reasons for them to be concerned about Bible prophecy. Another problem, though, is that most pastors don't really know anything about Bible prophecy because it is ignored in the seminaries. And so they just shy away from it. The thing I hear the most is, well, David, the reason I don't ever talk about Bible prophecy is because it is just not practical. It's not down to earth. It's all pie in the sky. And I've got to deal with problems that people are dealing with right here and now. And my response to that is, you don't understand Bible prophecy. Because if you can ever convince people of 2 things about Bible prophecy, you can transform their lives and the congregation. And the first one is, Jesus is returning. Now, the average Christian believes that with his head, but not with his heart, because he doesn't live like it. But if you can ever really convince them, number 1, Jesus is returning. And number 2, that is an event that could occur any moment. You convince them of those 2 things, and you know what will happen? They will be motivated to evangelism and to holy living. And that is about as practical as you can get.